In 1947, a very small thing was created. It wasn't a machine. It didn't have a screen. Most people never saw it. It was called a transistor. At the time, electronics were large, fragile, and hot. They relied on vacuum tubes, glass components that broke easily, took up space, and failed often. The transistor was different. It was solid, small, reliable. But in 1947, this didn't feel revolutionary. The transistor wasn't sold to families. It didn't enter homes. It wasn't meant for everyday life. It stayed inside laboratories, inside equipment racks, inside places ordinary people never visited. Most people had no reason to care. Radios already worked, telephones already existed. Nothing in daily life felt broken. So the transistor didn't feel like an answer. It felt like an improvement for engineers. If you had explained it to someone in 1947, you would have struggled. You couldn't say what it was for, only what it replaced. A smaller component, less heat, more reliability, not a new experience. And that's why it didn't attract attention. There were no headlines, no excitement, no sense of arrival, just a quieter way for machines to function. A few years later, the transistor was still invisible, but something had started to change. Electronics became smaller, lighter, easier to move. Devices no longer needed rooms. They could fit on desks, on shelves, eventually in pockets. This wasn't obvious yet. In the early years, the transistor didn't promise a new world. It only made existing machines less inconvenient. That was enough, because once machines could shrink, they could leave the places built for them. They could follow people instead of staying put. In 1947, none of this felt important. The transistor didn't change how people lived. It didn't change habits. It didn't change routines. It only changed how small machines could become. And at the time, that felt like a technical detail.